The key to overcoming imposter syndrome and doing things that you want to do, even if you don't feel qualified, even if you don't feel good enough, and even if you feel like you have no value to offer, is to not to build confidence. It's not to shift your mindset. It's not to reprogram your subconscious mind. It's not to process your past traumas. The key to do that, at least what I've found, is to find a way to do the things you want to do, even if you feel inadequate for it. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the insights I have on this that allowed me to publish my first book, even though I felt like I'm not an expert at anything, I'm not qualified to talk about this topic, and to land my first dream job, even though I wasn't qualified for it, and there were many more applicants that had much more valuable credentials that I had. And it also allowed me to host an online conference with 20 established experts, even though I felt like nobody wants to be interviewed by me. Nobody wants to be on my podcast since I was a nobody in the online space. And it also allowed me to land my first podcast interview, even though, again, I didn't feel good enough or an expert at anything. And then I also landed my first client, which at that time also felt like I have no value to offer. I don't really have any valuable skills that anyone would pay me for. And finally, it allowed me to now publish more than 100 YouTube videos, alone 60 on that channel and 40 on other channels. Even though I still often feel like I have nothing of value to share with you, there are times when I sit down and I think about what I should talk about in another video, and then mind is playing, and I feel like, well, there's no more knowledge to share. There is just no idea of what video to create about. So, you see, all those things that really mattered to me, that I really wanted to do, but I didn't feel confident, I didn't feel good enough to do. But still, somehow I found a way to move forward and to still do them. And in this video, I want to share with you the strategies that I used and the lessons I've learned. So if you have something you really want to do, you really want to create, then you're not doing it because you feel like you're not qualified to change your job, you're not an expert enough to write that book or to start that YouTube channel, you're not qualified enough, you don't have anything value to offer, or you don't have any skills to offer to clients to potentially pay you for, or whatever that is, then in this video you will find some answers. And as you see, this is a different video like the other videos I have on my channel, because this isn't really outlined well and it isn't really edited. So I'm recording it on a whole because to show you the real version of me that isn't really perfect at all, and even on this topic of imposter syndrome. And I still feel I have nothing valuable to offer to you because I haven't really fully overcome it, because I'm still, with every video I publish, and even though I'm writing on my next book, which again, I'm not really an expert on the topic, is that I have to overcome it, and nearly every day, and I haven't fully overcome it. I'm not fully confident in the things I'm doing. I would say I'm perhaps 50% confident or 70% confident in the things I'm doing, but the rest, I just have to deal with that uncertainty, with that feeling of inadequacy. And we're gonna find a few things for you, that few little practices or few little tips that allow you to take the next step to whatever thing you wanna do, but are too afraid, but feel too inadequate, but feel like you're not confident enough yet, or feel like, oh, you need to shift your mindset first before you can do it, so you can move ahead and just do it. And that's really what I want to share with you in this video. So I may have this paper, and we may take few notes on this to figure that out. As you see, it's still blank, while in the other videos I normally already have something prepared here. I have at least a rough outline. So I'm gonna share with you the secret to making yourself do things that you don't feel confident, to overcoming the imposter syndrome that may be holding you back for years, which it did for me, because I wanted to publish a book like this for all my life. But I waited until I was 29 when I finally published that book. And one of the reasons that was possible for me is because I didn't feel confident, I didn't feel like an expert, is that I focused. And that's probably the first lesson that we want to take note here, is to pick something and make sure that what you want to do, whatever that project is, whatever that step is you want to take, is that it's something that you really, really want to do, not something you think you should do, right? So the first is do what you really want to do. Key to overcome imposter syndrome. All right. See here, this is the first thing. Make sure you do something you really want to do, something that really matters to you, because it's nearly impossible, I found, to make myself do things that I don't feel good enough about, that I don't feel confident in, but that I also don't really want to do. But if I shift only to do things that I really want to do, then it's much easier for me to move through the discomfort that comes with feeling I'm not good enough while I'm writing the book, I'm not good enough while I'm working with the client, I'm not good enough while I'm creating the YouTube video, for example. So that's the first thing. You really need to figure that out. And it may take some time of reflection to figure out if this is something you really want to do, or if it's something you think you should do, if it's something other people told you you should do. Then you need to take a step back and reevaluate and make a list of the things that really matter to you. So that's really important. The second step that I found really helpful is to, instead of focusing on the external results, on the external validation that you're going to receive when you do this thing, for example, instead of focusing on the amount of people that are going to read my books, the reviews I'm going to receive, the feedback I'm going to get, and so on. Instead of that external stuff, I focus on the internal benefits of writing the book, which most of the time was just focusing on the joy of writing, because I really do enjoy writing, and especially writing on a book. Focus on enjoying the creation process, from the first few words, from the rough draft to the creation of the cover, to the editing of the chapters, to the formatting of the book, to the ranking research of the book on Amazon, and so on. Focus on the entire process and really enjoying the creation process. And that's when I really made progress with the book. And in terms of publishing these YouTube videos, my focus is not on getting the most views, right? Getting the most likes, getting the most comments, getting the most subscribers with each video. That's a bonus. But I focus on the joy I experience during the whole creation process, from the idea to maybe sketching out the idea on paper, and then recording the video like this, editing the video, creating the thumbnails for the video, uploading the video, finding the best keywords to rank the video so you find the video, and so on. The whole process I really enjoy doing. So when I focus on that, instead of trying to create the best video that gets the most likes, the most views, then I would feel very, very stuck and too afraid of what would people say and so on. And this would really even block me from creating any video. But if I focus on what I enjoy, focus on your enjoyment of it. So that's the second lesson, or second key to overcoming imposter syndrome, in doing what you want to do despite feeling not good enough, despite feeling not expert enough. Now, the third thing, I don't really know at this moment what this could be, but I guess it's just to notice and see that you are in fact qualified to talk about it. That the fact that you have the desire to write a book, the fact that you have the desire to ask for a raise, the fact that you have the desire to start your own business, the fact that you have the desire to start your own YouTube channel, whatever it is for you, is proof, is all the evidence you need that to know that you're qualified, that you already know enough about the subject, or that at least you have curiosity and interest enough that's going to turn you into an expert. And that's all you need to know, that the fact that you have the desire to do this thing is evidence that you're qualified. Desire for this thing is evidence you're qualified. So that the fact that I desired to write this book, that I desire to write another book on a topic I'm not an expert yet, is proof enough and evidence enough that I'm qualified to talk about this topic, right? The fact that I have the desire to start my own YouTube channel is proof enough that I'm good enough, that I'm qualified enough to create videos on YouTube. And that's all you need to know. So these are the three keys that I think might be really helpful for you, at least they were for me, to achieve all these things despite feeling inadequate, without waiting for my confidence to finally rise up, without me needing to subconsciously program my mindset, without needing to go through any therapeutic approaches, and just do the thing that I really want to do and focus on the enjoyment of doing the thing, focusing on the enjoyment of the job application process for your dream job if you want to switch your job. Focus on the enjoyment of creating this book, of creating whatever the project is for you. And instead of focusing on any external validation, any external expectations. And finally, know that the desire you have for doing this thing is enough that is enough evidence that you're qualified to do it. So, and that's what I did for this video, because I really wanted to do this video, because it really mattered to me, because I wish I had watched such a video long ago, then I would have done all the projects I've listed much earlier. And second, I really enjoyed the process. I don't really know if anybody is gonna watch this video, right? And it doesn't matter. Of course, I'm excited for every single viewer, but that's a bonus for me. And the desire I had for creating this video was evidence enough for me to know that I'm qualified to create this video. Even though yesterday, when I had this idea for this video, I thought, oh, I shouldn't really record it because I'm not qualified to talk about this topic. I still feel inadequate so often. I still feel like an imposter very often, most of the time. I still haven't fully healed my self-esteem, my self-worth. But still, the desire is evidence enough that I'm qualified to do it. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what the project is that you've been putting off because you don't feel good enough, you don't feel expert enough, you don't feel qualified enough. Let me know in the comments below. That would be very interesting to me. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And make sure to also check out this video because you might find this helpful as well.